What is going on? This is Joel with the Money Codes, and I'm here to give you your money code of the day. And today I'm going to be going over a specific question. Can you improve your credit score with your monthly rental payments? The quick answer is yes, and I'm going to show you a couple of companies that's going to help you do that. However, stay around until the end of the video because I'm going to go over the good, the bad, and the ugly about using your rent to increase your credit score. All right, so welcome back. So today I wanted to talk about a pretty interesting topic in my opinion, and that is using services that take your rental history and report it to the credit bureaus. Now, the first time I actually heard about this was a few years back when I was an on-site agent. There was a realtor that told me about rental Kharma. She was recommending this to a lot of her clients. Now, I've done my homework and there's some good and there's some bad when it comes to these type of companies. And I'm going to let you know straight up whether or not it's worth even registering and paying for these companies. Now, first and foremost, like, how does this work? How does this whole process work? Well, there are companies out there. I think the most popular is Rental Kharma. And as you can see, I'm on the website. And how does this work? Well, the company makes it very simple. It's $8.95 a month. There's a $50 setup fee. And for $60 additionally, they will go back and they will report all of your past history. So what does that mean? It means if you are renting out currently a property, or if you're in an apartment complex and you've been there for 2, 3, 4 years, once you go ahead and you pay this $60 fee, not only are they going to include it to that credit bureau, but they're going to bring all of that past history, or however long you were with this landlord, they're going to add that history. So it's like a built-in aged primary at the time of signing up, which is good. So here's the thing that not everyone tells you about. You have to do some research to figure this out. As it pertains to rentalkarma.com, although it sounds good that the history is going to be put on your credit bureaus, the thing with them is they only report to TransUnion. They do not report to Equifax, and they do not report to Experian. That I do not like. Why don't I like any sort of primary account added to your credit profile that isn't consistent across the board? Because so many companies are going to the automated underwriting type of procedure, that means that a computer system is going to be making the decision when it's time to approve you for the credit card or the loan or whatever it is that you're applying for. And anytime that computer system sees a discrepancy between one credit profile or credit bureau compared to another. So let's say TransUnion has a 680 credit score, but your Equifax has a 620 credit score because your TransUnion has several accounts and several information that Equifax doesn't. That's a red flag, and that usually means that you have to call into the lender and they have to do a manual approval and you have to give additional information. As it pertains to these services that bring your rental history to your credit reports, as well as any company, credit builder, credit account, try your best to only sign up for companies that can report to all three credit bureaus. It's going to make your credit profile a lot stronger in the eyes of the underwriters later on. So back to Rental Kharma. So I like the concept of paying an upfront fee, which is $50 setup, that's $60 to get that history back on, and then paying about $9 a month. On paper, that sounds good, but it's not being reported to all the bureaus. Now let's check out a website called rentreporters.com. This is also a pretty popular service as it pertains to your history and your rental payments being reported to your credit reports. Now, as we can see here, and there's a reason why when you look at their website, the first checkpoint is we report your payments to Equifax and TransUnion. They're putting that there because they know that their main competitor, Rental Kharma, they don't have that reporting to Equifax. So this is kind of a win for them. But again, if you look at the pricing, let's actually check that out. So if you look at the pricing, sign up fee is $94.95 and the monthly reporting is about $10 a month. So that's very similar to Rental Karma, about 100, 110 for the setup fee, because more than likely you're going to pay this anyway. That's $60, and then you're paying $9 a month as opposed to Rent Reporters, which is $9.95 a month. I do also like this option here for Rent Reporters. Report up to 4 years of history. Additional landlords can be added for $50 per landlord. What does that mean? That means if you were living at, let's say, an apartment complex for 2 years, and before that you were at a different apartment complex, or you were renting a home like in a different location, so you have two different landlords that could possibly add positive payment history to your credit reports. As long as you pay the $50, you can add an additional landlord. Again, that is pretty good, and I will say compared to Rental Karma, even though you're only paying what, $2 more, $1 more per month, um, Rental Reporters is probably better than Rental Karma. And the latest company that came on my radar is Level Credit. And Level Credit, they actually report to all three major credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. Now, what's the deal with Level Credit? Um, Again, they're similar to the ones that I just mentioned before, but they only charge $6.95. So at the time of this recording, they only charge $6.95 per month. But I know with Level Credit, they're going to have to require your bank information in order to draft out the payments. But as you can see, the sequence that I started at, Rental Karma, Rent Reporters, and Level Credit, as you go from 1, 2, and 3, who they report to the credit bureaus are actually better. So if I were to make a decision, Level Credit will probably be the company that I will reach out to first. I will probably call my landlord, give them a heads up, or call the apartment complex, give them the heads up on whether or not they can actually report to this company. If your track record is spotty, if you have 30 plus day late payments on any lease, don't sign up for any of this, because all they're going to do is get in contact with your landlord, and then they're going to take that information and put it on your credit report. You don't want that. But here's the most important thing. So for me, this is why, even though Level Credit reports to the three major credit bureaus, here's why I likely won't sign up for this. And you may want to just take a second before you decide to sign up as well. So the biggest reason why I would say to manage your expectations when it comes to these type of services is, right now, the only type of FICO scoring models that actually recognize these rental reporting services are FICO 9, FICO 10 and 10T, and I believe the most current Vantage score, I want to say that's 4.0. I'm not sure. I don't really do a lot with Vantage. So, but according to FICO, which is the most important scoring system, the only scoring models or that take into account these rental reporting services are, again, FICO 9, FICO 10, and FICO 10T. Now, if FICO 9, FICO 10, and 10T are the only ones that recognize these services, what happens if we look at this page? And this is a page that I always use on my videos. It's on my course, but I do that for a reason. Now, notice, do you see FICO 9, FICO 10, and 10T anywhere on this page? You don't. And what is this page that I'm on? When you go to try to get an auto loan, depending on the lender, every lender has the option to choose which scoring model they base their underwriting and their approvals based off of. So when it comes to auto loans, you're likely going to see either FICO 8, FICO 2, FICO 5, or FICO 4. You don't see FICO 9 or FICO 10, do you? You don't. What about mortgage? If you're trying to get a mortgage, what are you normally going to see? FICO 2 being used, FICO 5 being used, and FICO 4 being used. These are the old school scoring models. They're old, they're outdated, but this is what lenders use. So it really doesn't matter that Rental Kharma, Rent Reporters, Level Credit, and all these, there's probably like another dozen that do these type of services, but it doesn't matter that when they report to the credit bureaus, they are reporting only in a way that only the FICO 9 and FICO 10, 10T scoring models can even recognize. So what that means is if you think that you're going to go to Rental Kharma, sign up for this, spend $120 and $10 a month, and then you're thinking that, okay, great, I have credit history, and then you go try to get a loan, your mortgage broker and your lender, they're likely going to be using FICO 4, right, or FICO 5. It depends on what they choose. They're not even going to be able to see this. They're not going to be able to see what it is that you're paying for. At least not now. In the future, as time goes on and more lenders and more financial institutions pick up on the new scoring model of FICO 9 and FICO 10 and 10T, which is probably going to be like in the next year or so, to me that limits the impact of even getting these type of services. Again, it sounds good on paper, but this is what I try to do with my channel. I don't want to sell you on hype. I don't want to tell you something that sounds good, and then when you dig into it, you're like, man, this really didn't help me get what I wanted. It didn't even get me my car loan. It didn't even get me my mortgage. And I'm not seeing that on a lot of other YouTube channels. So what I'm trying to tell you here is I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but I want you to pay attention to, and if you're going to spend money on services, I would rather you spend money on services like credit builders, like your Credit Strongs, yourselves. Those report to all three major credit bureaus, and your FICO 8s, which is the most popular scoring model, like it recognizes it. Getting secured cards, even though the secured cards aren't the sexiest, I get it. However, if you go and pay down $200 and get a Discover It, or you get $500 and try to get a Capital One, you're not going to get 2 years of history just on day one. However, you're going to be buying into an account and building an account that when it's time to go to the bank and when it's time to go to the dealership, they're going to be able to actually see what it is that you've been paying for. So the only positive that I will probably say when it comes to this is FICO 9 and FICO 10 and 10T. Lenders are slowly going to be adopting this model. If there are some lenders out there that you're aware of that their scoring model, they're using the 9 and 10 and 10T, cool, but 9 times out of 10, 90% of the time, whoever you're trying to get your loan from, they're not going to be using anything but the old school models. So, in my opinion, would I recommend that you spend $120 up front and then $10 a month for these type of services? I wouldn't. I would take that $100 and just keep that in my pocket, and I would just find another $100 and then I would try to get a Discover It card. That's what I would do. So again, this might be a controversial take. It might not be the most popular opinion. There is no like affiliates. I could just say, oh, this is just great. Get a couple of affiliate links and just like spam them out there. But I really only try to recommend services that I think would benefit you and benefit your credit profile. And in my opinion, at least in this stage, early 2021, I would hold off on these type of services, and I would spend my money, my time, and my energy focused on accounts that would actually be visible to lenders, and I'll just go from there. So again, this is my take on Rental Kharma, Rent Reporters, Level Credit, and other similar services like them. If I see some updates in the future, I'll make sure to do another video, but as of right now, this is going to be a pass for me, and there are just better options out there. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please go ahead, like and subscribe. Leave some comments down below, and I will check you out on the next video.